Hey team, and welcome to the first lesson of this course. I'm super excited to be teaching it. The things that I'm going to share with you throughout all of these lessons are things that took me years to work out. And everything is designed to be super actionable, so you can pretty much go ahead and roll it out into your own Shopify store straight away. And a lot of these things can literally just be that small change that takes your store from where it is now to 5xing, 10xing your sales. So the main thing here is, by the end of this course, we want you to be able to increase your conversion rate, meaning that every time someone lands on your store, we're going to increase the chances of that person buying. And there's a whole bunch of ways to do this. So in this first lesson, we're going to talk about brand and psychology and why it's important to have both. We're just going to touch on brand and touch on psychology, and then later in the course, we'll actually go a lot deeper on these. But this is just a fundamental thing to understand as we get started. So when we talk about brand, what I'm referring to is the images that you're using on the site, the colors that you're using on your site, the fonts, and all of the designs, whether those are graphics, etc. Now, brand can go a lot deeper than that. There's things like brand personality and tone of voice and what your brand really stands for, your mission. But for in this course, we're going to mainly just focus on those four things, just because they're super relevant when it comes to building your site. Now, what brand does is it gives your customers a sense of trust and credibility. The opposite of brand would be, a really trashy kind of drop shipping store where there's no brand, and people are going to land on there and they're just not going to trust it. Trust is one of the most important things to consider when building your store. It's definitely up there with the most important thing, because if someone doesn't trust your store, they're just simply not going to buy. So everything that we're doing, from social proof to brand to getting really good images for the site, all that's doing is just improving trust and then ultimately increasing our conversion rate, because people are comfortable putting their card details into your site and checking out. So that's brand. Now, and I'll show you some examples in a minute. The other side of it is psychology. Now, psychology persuades your customers on why they need to buy today. So we can use direct response marketing to get people to check out. Now, this includes things like copy, offers, like your product offering, social proof, urgency, and perceived value. Now, we're going to go into a lot of these a lot deeper. We've actually got lessons. I've got lessons on every single one of those points there. So I think best that I just show you some sites now, and I'll just identify the branded parts and the direct response parts that are really that psychology piece. So if I was to jump to, here's a website by JS Health. So when we're talking about the branded elements in the site, we're talking about these fonts here. We're talking about the background colors, these earthy tones, these very skin-like tones. We're talking about these models. We're talking about these graphics here, these little stars and this badge, right? And then when we're talking about the psychology part, we're talking about the things that are like 41,000 verified reviews, or shop our specials, right? These offer with the shop button straight away. We're talking about this offer up here, a free gift with every order valued at $40, right? These are all the psychological things that get us to actually buy. Another example would be here. This is Gymshark, right? So the branded piece is this image here. It's all about inclusivity, all types of women, different backgrounds, different shapes, right? And then the brand, the other piece of it is here, free standard shipping when you spend $100, or the shop button, right up top that we can see it straight away. Those are the psychological pieces. Again, here's a brand, the Udi. So the branded pieces, this blue color, right? This copy here, little moments, big memories. It's eliciting an emotion, right? And then the other part of it, the psychology part is, it's Happy Father's Day, up to $35 off Udis and PJs. That's the offer. Shop gifts, that shop button. So you can start to see now the two elements that we're talking about, the brand piece and the psychology piece. So like I said, we'll go into all of these things in more detail in a later lesson. Really, the point here that I'm trying to drive home is you need both of these things to make your store convert. You could have a really beautiful branded website, but if it's missing the psychology and it's missing all of those direct response tactics, it's just simply not going to convert. It may look artistic and pretty, but if people aren't landing on there and buying straight away and you're pushing them to buy straight away, then a pretty site is nothing but a pretty site, and it's actually not going to make you money. Then on the other hand, if you skip brand altogether and just set up a very basic looking website that's just very in your face, buy now, buy now, buy now, it may come across as kind of trashy with not much credibility, and people won't trust it and they won't buy it. So you can have all of the direct response tactics and still it won't work because it doesn't have that branded piece. It doesn't build trust. So it's important to have the balance of both. And throughout this entire course, I'm going to show you exactly how to do both. So the action item for this lesson really is just to start looking at, your favorite brands, your competitor brands, brands that you see advertising on social media. Jump on their website and start to look at the brand, what colors they're using, what fonts they're using, and then start to look at the other techniques that they're using to get people to shop, whether it's offers, whether it's free gifts or sales, or shop now buttons placed in areas where it's very easy to see them and click through. So yeah, do that, and then just keep this in mind throughout this entire course, this balance of the two. I will see you in the next lesson.